Hey, y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Trey, man, Bishop, and we're here. If y'all hadn't been paying attention or you can check it out yourself here this morning with the 2022 National Military Basketball Tournament champions, the Fort Hood Phantom Warriors. As we're gonna let them talk about what's good with y'all, gentlemen. What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, we in here. Yes, sir.
First off,
Yes, sir.
we got a little bit of voice left, man, but we appreciate you having us back on. We wake up this morning with a different ring to the team, and it feels good to be national basketball champs, man. Seriously.
Okay,
First,
okay, okay. Tom, when Tom had a lot of bravado going on, like I'm saying, come Friday,
look at him. Look
come
at him.
Tuesday is a different story. Look at he wrapping up though. That's what's up. What's up? So, what Bishop? How was your day yesterday, brother?
It was good. It was straight. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today, man?
How you doing,
Glad to see
Bishop?
y'all.
Another day.
Glad to see y'all on the show, man. Appreciate y'all taking the time out y'all morning, man, and gracious with y'all presence.
The way you sounded, Bishop, I thought you was there at the game too. Like you was on the squad. I'm looking for your hat and
No,
T-shirt. But
nah.
I
Wish
know,
I could
I
have
know.
made it out to it because I heard y'all was out here in San Antonio, right? It was in San Antonio, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I wish I would have been able to make it out. I was too busy. I was trying to recover from
Oh,
I
you
had
had a
a
different recovery going on. My
cruise.
fault. You had
Yeah,
another
I
game.
was recovering from a cruise, so I wasn't able to make it out, but I wanted to. So, but again, congratulations to y'all for winning, man.
So,
Appreciate it big time.
of course, what I'm saying, but like, be it like as soon as I posted Bishop and like said, what I'm saying, okay, let's talk about it. I had a particular person that's on this panel right now it was in the comments like, hey, I told you. He said, "Hey, I told you," but what I heard is, "We're gonna shock the world." That's what I heard. So, of course, Thomas, tell us about it. Tell us about it. Y'all go ahead and saying for the one time, tell us what happened.
Can y'all introduce yourself first? Can we get an introduction first? Like let's hear who each and every one is on this panel.
So,
My name,
fellas, I'll let you guys go ahead and let's start with Thomas, man. Go ahead, Thomas.
my name is Thomas Gallimore. I'm a, a 2-3 and a 4. For the Fort Hood Phantoms. Go ahead, go real. Hey man, I'm Cofield, man. I play the one. I play any position on the court. Team captain. Try to be the voice of the team. Try to be the coach on the court. That's it.
And I'm head coach Uriah Hunter, Fort Hood Phantom Warriors, 2022 National Military Basketball Champions.
Yeah.
Definitely got to put that in there. Huh? You definitely got to make that notice.
Hey,
Every
that goes
chance you get a chance.
here on out.
Nah, I hear you. I hear you. Y'all earned it. Y'all earned it. So, Coach Hunter, let me ask you first, man. So this tournament was this past weekend. It was a 3-day or 2-day tournament.
This was a 3-day tournament, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay. And how many teams were actually in this tournament?
So we started off with 20. I believe that there was, I want to say
Three
it was
three
two,
scratches.
two or three teams, I believe, that dropped out, and I think that's why you saw
Okay.
buys at the losers bracket. But yeah, it was, I would say seven. I think it was 17, 18 teams that actually made the trip out to San Antonio.
Okay. And out of those 17, 18 teams, do you know who probably traveled the furthest?
Oh, that was easy. That was Hawaii Elite. There was a team that came from Hawaii that traveled the furthest, and those boys, I believe, flew in on Wednesday, Thursday
Okay.
to get out to the tournament. But yeah, it was easily Hawaii Elite because they came outside of can't say United States because they're still part of the territory, but they came outside of the traditional United
Across
States.
the waters. You saw Hawaii Elite play in MG33, right, Bishop?
I don't think was Hawaii there. I don't remember. I can't remember if it was Hawaii. I want to say they were. Yeah, I want to say
Okay.
they did. They did show
I
up.
thought they
I
had
want to
came out.
say
I thought they was one of the teams that came out
yeah,
there.
yeah. I want to say they did come up. So, Coach Hunter, how was there when it came down to the tournament? Did they have like? Did y'all have? Did they have like an introduction? Was there a ceremony prior to leading into the tournament, or what? Did y'all just come off the plane straight balling?
No, so the first day, which was Thursday night, we actually had a coaches meeting.
Mm-hmm.
was a mixer for all of the players and the coaches that were there. So we had an opportunity to meet the officials. And first off, shout out to Lackland Air Force Base, Dwayne Reed, Michael Richardson. They put on a hell of a first class tournament. Getting all of those teams together. This is the 11th year that they hosted this tournament, and they did a really good job. It was a great job. It was a lot of work that went behind the scenes for this. But no, that first day, Thursday, was the mixer. We ended
Mm-hmm.
up getting a chance to meet all of the coaches. They brought us all in. We, had that conversation to find out the details behind everything. It was really more of a family reunion. And for all of the newer coaches, it was an opportunity for us to meet some of the old guys, the history, those legends, those big names that we always hear about that have been
Right.
military basketball. I think the most senior person in that room had over 40 years around basketball. So I'm gonna be honest, man, it was kind of one of those grandfather type moments where you got
Okay.
brain. Same with the officiating crew. There was easily over 20 plus officials that were there. Each one of them had collegiate level experience. So we had the very best in terms of what we were getting for this tournament. From that mixer, we were able to kind of talk about the details, ask any questions we had in regards to the tournament. And then immediately after, we went to an icebreaker. And that icebreaker, it was several of the players that were there. And it was kind of cool because everybody was kind of, just mingling, talking. We were watching, I believe it was the Phoenix Suns. It was a basketball game on. So we all got a chance to kind of watch the NBA playoffs while we were there at that mixer. So that was
Cool.
actually cool. Grab some drinks, some old school, basketball trash talk. And it was good. It was a lot of fun. And that was actually the day prior to the actual tournament start. So that was Thursday
Okay.
night.
Okay. And so Jay, when
Yep.
you was there, what were you looking forward to going into this tournament?
Man, I wanted this more than anything. I wanted this ring more than anything. So that was the ultimate goal, man. I told my team, stay hungry, man. Don't be satisfied with one win. And coach, he harped on it a lot. Like, you should be, hey, not celebrating at the end of the game. Let's get to the next game. So one game at a time. I told my team, man, look, hey, it's me and Thomas' last rodeo. This our last go. So I'm gonna give you everything I got. So
That's
I was
what's up. And
locked
so
in.
Jay, where you from? Outside, I know you played for played for Fort Hood, but where are you actually from in the U.S.?
Originally from North Carolina. Played a little bit of college football at North Carolina Wesleyan, D3. Reason I ain't played basketball is because it was just too much. Football and basketball was just too much at the college level. Yeah. So,
Okay.
but I mean, I stayed in shape. I continued to do what I did.
What made you choose basketball over football then?
Funny story. So my brother, EC Cofield, he known in my town for basketball. Like, and I was talented at basketball. He went overseas to play in Germany a lot. So every time they had post-interview, game interview, it's always comparing me to him. And it's like, I wanted to create my own little path. So I decided football over basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Thomas, I heard you the man. I see you got the net around. I see you got the net around your hat. You made sure you let everybody know you a champion on the show. I feel you. I feel you. So T, where you from?
Georgia.
Georgia.
Dublin, Georgia.
Okay. Okay. What was you most looking forward to when you came into this tournament on that Thursday? What was the biggest thing you was looking forward to outside of winning, which is, of course is the biggest goal? But what were you looking forward to mostly going into this tournament?
A lot of respect. That's all I want. That's just me personally, cause folks always want to down on Hood, on freaking Coach. Like, Coach is young, he don't know what he's doing, but I just want to like respect. Like, listen, man. Like, we respect everybody, but we don't have it though. I don't know why, but now I'm pretty sure we got a little bit now. I'm sure we got a little bit now.
For sure.
Respect. That's it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Y'all got bragging rights for sure now for the other 17 teams that did not accomplish the mission. Y'all did come down here to San Antonio to accomplish the mission. Hey, mad shouts out to y'all, man. I can imagine how it was, man. Was it a packed house? Was it a lot of fans in the stands? Did y'all have a huge turnout of fans?
So if Coach I would not lie to you. Every like Luke game, They was like, okay, we here to watch Luke beat y'all. I'm like, what?
Wow.
It stands like, yeah, Luke is gonna beat y'all. I'm like, okay, boom. We knock Luke off. Everybody like, hold up now. Hold up now. These jokers might be on something. Win, shake hands, leave. We don't talk trash.
Hey, and then
and leave everybody like, what? They was like, oh yeah, Luke gonna knock y'all off. Jack beat y'all. Okay, like, cool.
I think I want to give a shout out to our girls team, man. They came and supported big time, man. They were loud. Like when we didn't have energy, they was turned up. Like they was in our head, like y'all gotta go. Like, yeah. So shout out to them. They was our biggest fans out there, man. So we gotta get them back.
That's what's up. That's hot. I like that. That's all. To have support like that, you need that, especially in big tournaments like that. That's huge. Man, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So, Coach, did y'all end up receiving any hardware? What was the sport? What was the
yeah? Let's see it.
The victory to your spoils.
Let's everybody see what it is. Yeah.
I don't know if I can turn this. I can't turn the camera around, but I'm gonna sit here and see if I can bring this into the camera. So this is.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. There it is.
Hey, my cut down. And that's the last trophy. I think that's a first for nationals, and you can see the board back in the back. I actually have the banner. I'm gonna pull the banner out a little bit later, but all of the players' shirts here. This T-shirt is gonna go into the trophy case, and each one of the players are gonna receive rings as well. So the rings, I'm gonna receive those on Friday. And one of the things that I was kind of holding off to let the guys know, and I'll go ahead and surprise them now, is they are gonna receive achievement, either AAMs or RCOMs, to include military.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm working Garrison Sergeant Major and the Garrison Commander to give them a ring ceremony and present those to all of the players.
Okay.
And,
so for those people that don't know Trey, explain to them what he means by RCOM or AAM.
Of course, ARCOM, for those that are paid that art to adapt to that military lifestyle, as of course ARCOM, or correction, the AAM achievement, Army Achievement Medal, ARCOM Army Accommodation Medal, which is usually awards giving to those individuals who have separated themselves from their peers or everyone else for any particular thing. In this case, the Fountain Warrior team has basically has shown exceptional and like you want to pull out, say the same verbiage that all over the course of the years have shown that they have brought credit to themselves, their unit, the third 3 Corps, and the United States Army for exceptional service while serving on the Fort Hood Fountain Warrior team. But that's basically what they're looking at getting. That's what's up. That's definitely what's up, to show that again. As I always say, military athletes, armed forces athletes is what it basically comes down to. The banner, okay, look at the banner.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you, national champions. I see you.
Yes, sir.
So
look at that medal. That joker's big.
Oh yeah, they did that. So they did that.
Medal.
So I asked you guys, what number, how many national championships has Fort Hood won, and how many does this make for you, Coach Hunter?
So this is number 4 for Fort Hood. Fort Hood is now 4-time national champion. And for me, I have now won 2 championships on the men's side, this being the biggest, of course. And I also have 2 on the women's side. For the women, won some law enforcement tournaments early in the year. And I'm glad Cofield had to recognize the ladies because my women, they came out in full force to show for us. And I know a lot of times, we don't speak on the women's game because it's still developing. We're still trying to keep it together. But shout out to all of my women. They are always combined in all of my practice sessions. I actually coach the men and the women here at Fort Hood, and they do just as much traveling as the men whenever they have events. So that makes 4 total for me. And this clearly is the biggest one. So
that's what's up, man. That's hot.
Definitely. So real quick, we can come back and talk more about the Trek and now what is left in front of the Fort Founding Warrior squad. Yesterday, of course, there was two NBA games as we are now in the second round, and the last of the game ones were played, and we're talking about full force. It may not be women, but someone did come out full force. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. When you talk about the Mavericks taking on the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix, Phoenix was able to become victorious 121-114. As I said, full first force, no different than what we said. Luka Doncic, 45 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 13 points from Jalen Brunson, 15 points from Dorian Finney-Smith, 19 from Max Kleber as he was hot. He couldn't miss for a second. But obviously, of course, as I said, it wasn't enough as the Phoenix Suns, if I remember correctly, I did say that Phoenix was going to win.
You never said that, bro.
Phoenix,
I was
I
hoping you
did
was gonna
say.
say you
I
said
said.
that. No,
I
you did
said
not.
what I specifically see.
No, see this.
All my
Hey
life,
man, let me
I
tell y'all
gotta
something
fight.
about this dude,
All
man. Let
my
me tell
life,
y'all
I
something about
gotta
this
fight.
dude, dog. Hey, Coach Thomas. Hey, let me tell y'all something about this dude, right? On this show, right, he does this little slick thing, and he think I ain't noticed it yet, right? But what he'll do is he won't say anything to make
I
you
said
know who his
every
picks are.
whole
So then
team
when the
would
game
win.
is ended and the very
Every
next
whole
day and you
team.
see the outcome, oh, now all of a sudden I picked that
Every
team.
whole team.
See, if you reflect back to yesterday's show, I
Every
clearly
whole team.
stated who were the two teams. So who did you pick? Watch this. Who'd you pick
I
out of the
picked.
76ers and the Heat?
I picked the Heat. I said all the whole teams
He
were gonna win.
never. I swear. Y'all go back and look at the show, man. Y'all go back and look at the show. This dude never said anything about any
I
one of these teams.
did. I
But
said the
anywho,
whole
I'm
teams.
gonna
I
let
was like,
I'm
I
gonna let
agree,
you
the
have
whole
it.
team is gonna
I'm
win.
gonna let you have it. This dude here is so full of it, bro.
So, hey, he said he always winning. He always winning.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's
Chris
exactly
Paul got
what he do,
19
bro.
points, 17 points from Cameron Johnson as he did do work. 13 points from Mikal Bridges, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 11 points from Jay Crowder, 25 points from DeAndre Ayton, 23 from Devin Booker. I asked y'all, gentlemen, do y'all think Devin Booker being back in the lineup gave them that spark, and they what helped them to get over the hump in what they would have had as Dallas Mavericks?
Easily, I would say, having a your I'm not gonna say your leader, but one of your best players, because I believe Chris Paul is the leader of the team. I think Devin is the best player. But when you have your best player on the floor like that, it makes everything. And you know what? I'm gonna let the players talk about that because they know the game. They played the game. Me as a coach, it puts everybody back in their natural position, and it makes everybody comfortable within the role that they know they're supposed to play. So yeah, Devin Booker being back, that's tough. I mean, they're gonna be hard to beat.
I agree. First off, shout out to Tracy and congrats, bro. Yeah, I just seen him log in. Having Devin Booker, I think it's just more of a confidence thing. You get your best player, like you said, best player back. You play a lot free. If you lose them, then you push them just as hard. Try to make up. You can't make up the scoring. You can't make up the confidence on the court that you have. You know what I mean? Your best player passing the ball to you, you know that he got confidence in you scoring the ball or doing your job. You cannot go wrong with that. So I think it's just, if anything, a confidence builder for their team because their team is pretty nice all around. Like they have a bench, they have the leader, like you said, in Chris Paul. They have a big, you know what I mean. So I think just having that leader just bring the confidence to the team.
So you feel like, y'all both feel like Devin Booker coming back was definitely a huge turning point for the Suns to be able to take out Dallas last night. Okay.
So I asked this as well. Luka, 45 points, a double-double, 2 points short of 2 assists short of the triple-double. Does Dallas Luka's back to now? He's not got 2 games under his belt, 3 games since his injury. Does Dallas have a chance to win this series now that Luka's back?
So I'll take that one too. I don't believe that they have enough firepower on that team. I think that is enough. He's tough. He's strong. He carry them and keep them in every game. But as you clearly saw, he went for 45 points, and I'm gonna be honest. Much as it
Ball
looked like
dominant
game, and to me, I think Phoenix clearly controlled that game. And for him to have a game like that and those rotational guys to step up, they're going to have to play a damn near perfect game where you have Jalen Brunson, Dinwiddie, Kleber, all of those guys hitting on all cylinders in order for them to compete in a contest like this. So I don't think that this is their year. I think Phoenix is just too strong. And to the point, I know you just asked that question. I think even if Devin Booker wasn't here, I still think that Phoenix is clearly the better team just with the way they play team defense.
Yeah.
And we do know at one point that the Suns were up by 21 points on the Mavericks.
Yeah, they made a comeback
there. Yeah, Luka and them made a comeback to make it a closer game. But yeah, they were up by 21.
I think having Luka back is going to hurt them more.
Well, how can you so? Let me ask you, ask y'all as players, how can that, in regards to Trey's statement just now, how could Luka hurt them by him having 45 points on the court last night? That's 40. If he wasn't on the court, that's 45 points. That wouldn't be on the board for them.
Maybe mentally though, like back almost chemistry. Maybe that's why.
Okay, I see what you're saying. When they had Jalen Brunson, and he was, starting out. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean they played a lot of team ball. It was a lot of, like everybody got a chance to eat. And then when Luka get back, he ball dominant. So it take the ball out of the players' hands a lot. I would say though, you still want you gotta have your star player. I see, and it's two ways. I tell everybody, it's two ways to beat a superstar. Man, you either gonna let the superstar eat and take the team away, or you gonna take the superstar away and let the team eat. So I think they taking that mindset of just let Luka do him. We can shut everybody else out and go from there.
So somebody on here said we've spoken of this a few times, myself and Trey, and we've always tried to pick the Batman and the Robin of certain teams, because every team has a lot of the teams have the big three, some have a big two or whatever, but everybody try to figure out who's the Batman, who's the Robin of this team. And as you can see, AP right here, Anthony Price believes Booker is the Batman for the Phoenix Suns. Do y'all agree, or do y'all believe CP3 is the Batman and Booker is the Robin?
I think it's CP3 because the ball goes through. He's like the head of the your point guard to be smart. Because he's like a freaking quarterback. So without him, nothing happens. So
and then I would say, ain't nothing wrong with a Batman and Superman combo.
Yeah,
ain't nothing wrong with
it. Get him, Mike. Get him, Mike. Get him, Mike. You see Mike messing with you, Bishop?
Ain't nobody worried about Mike, man.
You know what? I think it changes from team to team and year to year. Last year, you could clearly say that Chris Paul took that role where he was the leader that carried them. But I think even if you look at that New Orleans Pelicans series, had Devin Booker not started that series, I think that would have been completely different. And we saw Paul. Yes, he had that amazing, 100% from the floor game. But I think that looked at what the New Orleans Pelicans did to the Phoenix Suns early on without Devin Booker there. And it clearly showed he was the leader of this team, because when he came back, he had such an impact that made everything comfortable for everybody on the floor. So I think last year it was Chris Paul. This year, I believe that person is Devin Booker.
Okay, I like that, Coach. I like that.
So, Bishop, something I'm not sure if he was tracking, because I really didn't give it any. It was there, but I didn't re-say it through. But of course, we know Mike Barker. He's been on the show before, and down there in San Antonio with Bishop. But Hero Sports provided the live streaming for the games.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
So you're saying Hero Sports, of course, doing what they do, the connections and all that type of stuff. So, but usually we hear from Mike when we're talking NFL, because he's I would say a Packers, but I'm more so think he's an Aaron Rodgers fan, because he's seen no wrong in Aaron Rodgers during the season.
Right,
but we have those out there. But Hero Sports, saying shout out to Hero Sports. It was actually pretty good with the when you look at the live stream and everything like that, they was able to show some of the games. I didn't get a chance. Of course, I missed seeing 4 post games, and then when I watched it, the only thing I was able to follow kind of like through the brackets. But yeah, so I'm saying shout out to Hero Sports. Of course, he's always on Bishop. Uh, always on Bishop, especially when it comes down to it. So going back to what we were just talking about, so I think Jay basically commented on, like, for the most part, yes, Luka's the star. We all know it's Luka's team. But when Luka wasn't there was more of a team flow, in my opinion, when you look at it. Like, Jalen was eating, Dinwiddie was eating, Kleber was eating, everyone was eating. Luka, 44 minutes, 45 points.
It's sick.
The next
point of
closest,
me.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's been said that he slows the ball down, and he so of course the next one was Maxi Kleber with 19 points, no assists, 1 rebound. In which Maxi, he basically got all his points. He was 5 for 5 at one point, so that tells you right there. Like, so you can see, like I always say, stats for the most part in video doesn't lie. You see, because you're like, oh, my man got all 45 points, but I don't have in front of me how many shots he put up. Like, yeah, and that type of stuff. That's the reason why I think that's going to be more. It's going to be more the detriment to the team with Luka going until he gets. I mean, right now he's been given the keys, in my opinion, and until he gets to that point where he understands the whole team concept and they interact like that, that I think they're going to continue to be good enough to get into the playoffs, second round currently. But I don't see championship aspirations until that changes.
Yeah, I truly believe Luka is missing his Robin. He's definitely missing a Robin. He needs somebody else to even out that team. That team, like you say, they played so much more smoother once Luka was, out the lineup because of his injury. And then when he comes in, like y'all said, he's ball dominant. So he kind of like takes over the game, but he slows the games down to his pace and allows him to play his game. But it's not enough. Him by himself cannot take down Aiken, CP3, and Book. He's not going to be able to do it.
No. And I agree. And also, yeah, look at it, man. Like, that's if you can't keep up with CP, think about what CP3. He at the beginning of the game, he let his teammate eat. He let Dell Book eat. Let the whole team pretty much eat. He don't take over really to the second half. So if Luka get that type of mindset, I feel like he'll be okay. But until then, you gotta get your teammates involved. You gotta get them involved.
And like Leo here says, who you think you can mesh? I don't know. And not unless they're vegan or they can play without eating. Like Luka is going to have his player in famine, like try to sit up and try to play with him. But
Trey. But
yes,
also, Trey, with that though, he's gonna have to find a way to allow somebody else to eat. Just like Coach said,
he has to.
He's going to have he has to kind of like he's got to balance the two out. He got to understand that, okay, yeah, for the past few years, yeah, you've been the dude and that.
Let's not act like he ain't run Porzingis out of there.
Well, and that's the whole problem. And that was the whole problem why Porzingis left.
Yeah, he would not. He may not have been a good fit, but Luka ran him up out of there.
Now. Yeah.
So, do y'all think is anyone out there that could potentially mesh with Luka, like off the top of your head? Y'all think would be a good look to go to Dallas and play?
Off the top of my head, the type of player that Luka Doncic needs. See, the problem. Oh man, that's a tough one. And it's crazy. It's funny you guys were talking about that because I had a similar issue with my program, our team, because I do have a real big ball dominant player as well. That's Randall Haley, and he was our best scorer on the team, and he gave us a completely different edge when he was on the court. But when he was ball dominant, he hurt us really bad, and we actually had one game where he was being face guarded really badly. And I told him that, hey, you have to learn how to be effective.
How to get off that
court other than just scoring. When you're not scoring, he kind of turned into a shell of himself, and he was a liability on the floor. And I remember in the game, I just looked at him and said, there's 9 or 10 other things you can do on the floor. So to me, I look at a player like Luka Doncic, and you know what he really reminds me of? He reminds me of, Carmelo Anthony. He reminds me a little bit of Allen Iverson, how very ball dominant. Even Kobe Bryant prior to Pau Gasol and those guys coming, to where it was like I don't know if it's as much as can the right fit. I think it's more of a trust thing. Can you bring in the type of player that he would trust to be able to help him out? And until somebody comes in with a similar status as his to where he can trust them and he actually buys into doing more than just having the ball in his hand, some games he may have to turn into a guy that sets screens or a guy that, assists and gets other guys involved and lifts the other players. Until he does that, I don't know if it really matters what you bring in there, because I thought Porzingis was the best fit for him, but I just feel like he didn't get Porzingis involved enough because he turned into a standstill shooter on the outside versus, getting him some looks at that high post. Or me personally, I thought that was a missed opportunity for them because they didn't do enough to raise Porzingis's confidence by playing with the player of that status. So I think
He
this is
came in
all
as
on.
a unicorn and then he left as a mule.
Yeah, I think more on Luka and Jason Kidd to figure out. I think Luka Doncic, he's going to have to turn from that ball dominant player to somebody that can potentially do other things on the floor and get other guys involved. And me personally, he's always going to be, touted as that superstar, but he's going to go down in history, in my opinion, as one of the greatest to never win it if he doesn't, turn that light switch on and make that switch. So I don't think it matters who you bring in there with him. This is all about him and Jason Kidd figuring that
True
out.
that, and I agree with you, Coach. But just for the simple fact of the engagement, what do y'all think about this? Brady Bill and Luka Doncic.
I like Bradley Bill. I like
Bradley. Yeah, I'm sorry,
like
Bradley. Yeah.
I like CJ McCollum a little bit better because Bradley Bill still needs.
I was thinking about him too, Jay. I thought about CJ too.
I go with somebody like CJ because CJ, he know when to get his. He already played with Damian Lillard. Like, he know when to get his. He know when to not. So I think somebody like him, they can come in and kind of orchestrate it.
Conley too. Conley.
Oh, Conley. Yeah. Conley. Yeah. Conley would be a good one.
Get them off the ball.
Yeah.
Conley would be a good one too. I totally agree. So we do know, we talked about ball dominance in regards to Luka and him hitting 45 points. But let's talk about this game between the 76ers and the Miami Heat, who we thought we would see a ball dominant Harden coming to the game into Miami to try and get the the Sixers a win over the Heat without an Embiid. But unfortunately, that was not the case.
Bishop, do you realize? Hold up, Bishop. You realize I don't see not Nam, Philly fan on right now. I don't see Key. I don't see Ron. Like
they ain't hiding. Because we do know the Philadelphia 76ers fell last night to the Miami Heat 106-92 with the 76ers. Tobias Harris, which we talked about him briefly yesterday, who we said needed to have a game, had 27 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. DeAndre Jordan with 4 points and 2 rebounds. James Harden, 16 points.
Why?
16 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Tyrese Maxey, 19 points, 0 rebounds, and 2 assists as they fall to the Heat, which the Heat's main players was, of course, who we talked about yesterday, was Tyler Hero, coming off the bench with 25 points, Jimmy Butler with 15, Bam had 24, and Gabe Vincent had 10. So I ask you, fellas, Harden was a no-show as the Sixers fall 1-0 to the Heat. Is this the Harden y'all expected to see? Has Harden lost the edge, or it just was a bad game for Harden?
So, I think this is the Harden. I think this is the Harden we're expected to see. He's kind of turned into a shell of himself since, I would say, that series that they lost to the Golden State Warriors with Chris Paul, when Chris Paul was on the team. I don't think we've ever seen the same James Harden since that series. I think that his confidence takes a huge shot. And when you look at, what he's done in Philly, he kind of looks like, I'm not even going to say the number one option anymore. He's a scorer at times. And then he looks like at times you don't know he's on the floor. So for me, I just think this is the Harden we're accustomed to seeing. I think he's going to have maybe 1 or 2 big games, but without Joel Embiid there, they need the Harden that the Houston Rockets had when they were going at Golden State's head. And I just don't know if he's going to turn into that player. I don't know if it's there anymore.
I think ever since they took the rules out where that flopping, that kicking, and all that shit, ever since that, I think James Harden just ain't been himself. Like, he not getting the same calls he normally get, and he not attacking. As players, sometimes when you're not getting the call, you rely on just shooting all the time. You know what I mean? Instead of attacking. Now you don't see him attacking much. He looking trying to find, I guess, Tobias Harris, the kid Maxey. I like him, but I mean, like Coach said, I expected to see it, but I was hoping not to see it. I expected to, but I was hoping.
But like,
so
when have Harden ever showed up though? He never.
That part.
He never shows up. So I'm like, well, Harden's on where y'all.
That part.
So I ask y'all this: do y'all think it's a potential situation where, remember, at one point the rhetoric on Kobe was he doesn't make his teammates better. Kobe's not passing. He's not doing this at the third. Kobe went and done that, and he was lacking in another area, and the team wasn't winning. Do you think this is the similar situation where Harden is trying to be more of that facilitator, which we see he can be, but it's taking him out of his game in some way? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, you can say that, because that Philadelphia 76ers team, even without Joel Embiid, they still have Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey. I know everybody was trying to, elevate him to another status. I think he's still kind of a six-man type player. But I look at that Philly team, and I don't see a clear identity with the team. Now that Joel Embiid is out,
that's key.
That's even a bigger problem now, because with Tobias Harris clearly has to be that guy that just goes and takes them to another level. And I think the problem is he has been shelved and put on the sideline for so long that a lot of people have really forgotten about him, and now he has to build his own confidence back within the game. So to your point, I think James is trying to get others involved, but because this is his first year, chemistry matters. And I kept using that word throughout our tournament, because you can't just go and throw pieces together for an event when you haven't had time to build and find out how to utilize everybody throughout the entire year. So to me, I think that Philly's going to need another full summer of how to incorporate Harden, to use him with the rest of the team. But this isn't going to be the year for them, because that chemistry piece just isn't there.
Well, I think the 76ers, and especially the 76ers fans, are looking for Maxey and Harris to be like Jordan Poole is for the Warriors. They're looking for that guy, and Maxey and Tyrese Maxey and are not being that person. They're not being that Jordan Poole assassin. I've already labeled Jordan Poole as the third splash brother for that team, because the boy is balling out of control right now, and it's like there's no stopping him. He's on a whole new level. They've even said, critics have even said that he possibly could have won the most improved player over Ja, because his game has just stepped up just that much. And I think that's what the Sixers are looking for from a Maxey and from a boy. So it is what it is.
To that point that you just made, though, I think there's a huge difference between what Steve Kerr did with Jordan Poole versus what Doc did with Tyrese Maxey. You can look at James Harden and Stephen Curry in the same light, but you're never going to see James Harden coming off the bench and accepting a completely different role. And allow a player like Tyrese Maxey to build his confidence by running the team, and knowing that, hey, when we get to the playoffs, this is something that's going to carry us. So to that point, Jordan Poole's confidence is at an all-time high, because Stephen Curry, the star player, we went back and said this about Luka. We said it about James Harden. You have to be willing to accept a different role and do other things that are effective for the team. James Harden is not that type. I don't think he's going to do that or accept a role like that, because when he doesn't have the ball in his hand, he becomes a shell of himself, and it's almost like he's invisible on the court, whereas he should be other things to help the team. He's just not going to turn into that player. So part of that, I would put a little bit of it on Doc, and then the other people put it on the stars. I'll put that on James Harden, because you have to be willing to accept that role But you also have to be willing to identify, listen, I know I'm not going to be able to do this with just Joel Embiid and James Harden, and I know I'm going to have an injury at some point. What am I doing to identify that next player that's going to help me out? And it's hard to do that in the playoffs. You have to build that throughout the year. And Steve Kerr did that with Jordan Poole. That's why Jordan Poole at times looks like you turn on the TV and you're like, is that Steph? No, Jordan Poole. Exactly the same. They look identical on the court.
So I bring this up, and this is why I said why. Why was DeAndre? They not have no other option beyond DeAndre Jordan to institute or to integrate into the lineup to help out because Joel Embiid is out. No one else. No one.
I think they did. I think Doc stuck in his system, and his system relies on a big. So I think that's what it came down to. But like you said, he might have to change up. He might have to go small. I think that's the only way you can probably get a chance to even compete with the Heat right now.
That is not DeAndre from the Clippers back in the Clipper days when he was coaching.
It's definitely DeAndre from the Clippers. It's definitely him. That ain't him.
He's just Andre. Just Andre.
Yeah. Forget the D. He's definitely just Andre.
He's there for the check. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I'll say this. This would have been a perfect series for a player like Andre Drummond. And Andre Drummond could have he would have physical. He would have snatched a lot of rebounds. He would have started within his role. And they gave him away like candy to the Brooklyn Nets. And
well, Brooklyn ain't do nothing with him either, sir. So
right,
watch him out, say your teeth. Watch him out, say your teeth.
So there, I guess y'all gonna be in the same place, everyone.
It is what it is, man.
But you know who's balling when you talk about the big men that's being shifted around? We talk about when you look at the whole LA, Phoenix, all that type of stuff. JaVale McGee is showing. It ain't no more shacking the fool going on. He ripped Luka last night, lifted the court, a fake with the dunk like JaVale McGee. Shout out JaVale McGee.
I think he's a sleeper. People sleep on JaVale.
I told people that when he was with Phoenix, with the Golden State Warriors, I said that's probably one of the best pickups you can have if you Steph Curry. You got the biggest dude on the court that defend the rim. Pick and roll, he dunking it. It ain't no layups with him. Yeah,
right.
And that's probably one of my favorite sleepers. Like you said, sleeper. That's one of my favorite sleepers of all time. No lie.
Right. That he's a beast.
So basically, at the end of the day. Go ahead, go ahead, Coach.
No, I was just gonna say he's starting his role, and I'm kind of looking at Thomas because Thomas kind of serves that role for our team in a way where you look at JaVale McGee, and there's times that he doesn't even play or he doesn't get those minutes he needs, but when he's on the court, he is effective in the time that he's put out there. So it's about owning that role, being ready to go, and always coming and just playing your role when you're on the court. And JaVale McGee, I agree with you guys. I don't think that he would be more effective with more time. I think that they're using him exactly the way they should. He's an energy book that comes off the bench. He helps them in key moments. He's ready for the moment, never afraid of the moment. And Shaq and the Fool, they put him on there, but he is far from those days. Those days.
Yes. That part. So of course we already asked the question that we definitely believe that Harden needs to be more aggressive, right? We all in agreement with Harden being more aggressive.
That's right.
20 shots minimum.
Ooh, 20 shots minimum. Gotcha.
Well, with Joel Embiid gone, that's got to raise a little bit more. I think
30 to 35.
I think maybe 25 to 30.
Okay.
That's a hell of an output for Harden.
But you say that, Trey, but you act as though you say that as though.
Oh, but yeah, he takes it like he had his norm.
His norm, bro.
That used to be his norm. Yeah,
that used to be his norm. You know what I'm saying? That was his game, putting up a bunch of shots, killing them with the step back, doing a great deal, and we're not seeing the Harden like Coach said. We're not seeing the Harden from the Rockets. We're not seeing that Harden.
That is been Tobias Harris.
So Coach, I asked y'all getting back into the because now first goes down. Nationals is taken care of for I keep on getting ready to say Fort Polk. It's funny. Fort Hood. Well, yeah. But for a second, but what's funny is I say Fort Polk, but then when I talk about Leesville, I say Killeen. I don't understand what that is. Maybe the universe is trying to tell me something. But in any case, What's next for the Phantom Warriors? What's up next? What do y'all see? Where y'all going from here?
So to answer that question, what's next for us? It's Vegas. We've done a full regular season, 16 games. Those 16 games led us to receive the number 4 seed. We went 13-3 in those 16 games, and we're gonna be out in Vegas. So we'll get an opportunity to play against all of the West Coast teams in the military and some teams that are from up north. I think there's a team up in JBLM. There's Camp Pendleton and Marines out west. Luke Air Force Base will be really strong for that tournament. Cannon Air Force Base in New Mexico. A team, we got Colorado, CMB with Mike Myers. His squad will be out there, and then Texas. We're gonna represent for Texas. But West Coast, Las Vegas. That's what's up for us next.
Okay, so Thomas, what you got any predictions? I'll go to you first. Is there any predictions? Are you making a stating another case here, or I need to wait for a little bit? I mean, I know we got about a month roughly. Oh no, a couple of weeks. Memorial Day weekend, right?
About 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay. So just in case we don't see you on here again, is there anything you got to say in reference to?
If it was a 7-game series, Hood in 3. But I just know right now Hood has a target because, man, all over Facebook, Snapchat, everywhere is for Hood, and and I done seen comments on pages saying like, well, I'm tired of seeing all this stuff. But you're gonna see it until we play in Las Vegas. That's just that. Let us be great. But Hood gonna always show up and compete. Like we always gonna be there. Like we always gonna show up.
Okay, of course, and that's expected or whatever case like that. Like I said, I had I almost said Fort Benning. Actually, I think Fort Benning is supposed to be on here tomorrow. Well, like I said before the tournament, of course, we had Fort. I've spoken with Fort Pope before. Of course, they speak there. They talk. I talked to a couple of players from Langley. They've talked. Of course, they talked to a player or two from CMB. Of course, they talk. Play just and then Coach Parker had him on, and they basically spoke and everything. So, but only one team at this time can say they went out and did exactly what their talk was. So, I mean, of course, we know it's all subjective. What'd you say, Thomas?
We said that. I told you this now.
But hey, Trey. But
yes, sir.
I need to know this from these three though. Since they all teammates, I want to see if they match when it comes to this. So, guys, this is something we do when everybody comes.
Oh, they did it already. They did it already.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, but this is what I would say. This is one thing I will say. Remember how yesterday, this is where the Dream Team thing I asked you yesterday came from. So it's 4 of us on here, right? Tell me if you can guess. Well, yeah, correct. I stand corrected. Tell me if you can guess who was the person that said the Redeem Team will knock off the Dream Team.
Me?
Yeah, tell me if you can figure out who on here said was adamant that the Dream Team would fall to the Redeem Team.
Probably Coach Hunter.
Oh, wow.
I'm an 80s baby, so
okay.
And I can't rock with that one.
Me too.
All day long.
89.
So who was it? Thomas? It was Thomas, wasn't it? I was gonna say Thomas. I was gonna say Thomas. I don't know why I said Coach, but I was gonna say Thomas.
So you gotta forgive him. He didn't start watching basketball until.
Oh man!
He played the game a lot. He just didn't start really watching it though until the 2000s.
So it's a couple of rumors that we got that was out here. Get to that before we get to the tonight's games. A couple of rumors that got out here. So tell me what you know. Saying you all look at all these rumors running me every day. So rumors, right? That's out there. And so tell me what y'all think about these rumors, right? Darvin Ham, a finalist for the head coaching position with the LA Lakers.
No.
Who?
I
Dar-
don't even know what it
See
is.
that exact Darvin. So Darvin Ham, he's been around for a while. He was at one point. He was a assistant coach with the Lakers. He went on. He's currently assisting. Is it Milwaukee? I think.
Yeah, I think he's in Milwaukee.
Yeah, Darvin Ham. He used to be a player. He played as well.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
Nah, especially with LeBron.
LeBron is his head coach for the Lakers.
LeBron.
Don't get this dude started. Y'all see how wholeheartedly he laughed when you just said that. Don't get that dude started, man.
You might as well say he the coach anyway. I don't know why we trying to ignore the fact.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't believe that's a spot for a first time head coach. Not LA. LA, New York. You can put Brooklyn in that category. I think Steve Nash is a little challenged over there with dealing with all those personalities. You got to have a vet, somebody seasoned, or a personality that can deal with all of those guys. Like if I was going to bring a first time coach in to deal with something like that, I'd have to go to somebody that had experience. And I'm not saying John Calipari is the first time head coach, but I think he's got a personality to where he's dealt with, a lot of those guys in a long period of time. So I think you got to go fresh, somebody new. Got to be a new face coming in, somebody that the players respect. Darvin Ham, that's not a good selection. I don't think though.
I think you gotta hear me out here. All right. You think the Lakers
Hold
on.
When they say that, you know it's gonna be some nonsense. Jay, don't come in here with that BS. Don't put nobody bad on my team. We already got enough problems.
I think y'all go get Mike D'Antonio. I think you'll get an offensive minded coach because you got a defensive team. Yeah. Now you just need offense with it. I think you'll get an offensive minded coach. And they gonna, it's gonna gel. I think because right now the offense look terrible. Defense, it's okay, but the offense look terrible. I think you'll get an offensive coach. You let LeBron play free. He play freely. You definitely got to sign some key players this year because that group can't come back. they just can't come back together. too many egos there.
That's all. Jay, let me ask you this: who need to leave? Does it need to be Harden or does it need to be AD?
Westbrook or AD.
I'm going with West. So Westbrook gonna have to probably go because not just because of the play, but also because his contract. I only think his play was that terrible. I think it's just it just wasn't Westbrook.
It wasn't what we used to see. Yeah,
it wasn't Westbrook, but I don't think it was that terrible. Yeah, I would get rid of him because his contract and AD right now, like you said, that's street clothes AD right now. I don't know. I got to have my team on the court. I don't. We all.
Andrew Bynum. But and they say he's one of the best big men in the league. How? I ain't never seen him play.
I can't tell. How he still the best big and they came up with that All-Star thing. There's like he's still in the. This dude need to play. I ain't never seen him.
So what we not going to do. That's what we're not going to do.
Hey, we're just trying to help the Lakers out. That's it.
That's all. We just trying to help the Lakers.
LeBron and them. It's called LeBron and them.
So I'll say this. I think they're stuck with Westbrook. If you look at LeBron James, he clearly is not going to leave that situation. I think it would take a hit to his status. In terms of, the way people look at him. I know some people put him in that GOAT conversation.
Yeah.
But I hurt him badly if he was to leave again. But with Westbrook, I think they're stuck with him. I think, it's going to be hard for teams to accept him. A team might, because that's a lot of money they can get off their books next year. But I look at Anthony Davis and I say, do we believe that we can get everything we can out of him? He's been injured every year. He's never available. I think if you can get anything back for him right now, this might be the opportunity to do it. that he's a
Hence the
player.
reason. See, all right, see, we're here, coach, because that's why I said not saying that he's a bad player, but he's value. Like we could probably, he's the only player that we could probably get some value for if we move him.
Right. You
So
could pack him with the Westbrook if you wanted to, and then move them that way. But I think
Ooh.
you'd be sacrificing where LeBron
as
would
long as they go
want.
to the East, they got to go to the East. Can't
Yeah.
stay in the West with that.
The Lakers ain't learned from Lou Dane yet. They still got him on contract. They about to do
No,
something.
it's done. We
Oh,
finished
it's
him. We
done.
finished. Yeah,
They
he's
about to
done.
do something,
He's off our
Westbrook.
book. He's off our books now. He's off our books now.
But hear me out though. I really liked it, Kyle Kuzma. I just like his game. Like they say he was trash. I like his game.
Kyle
Kuzma
Hell,
trash.
but
He
I
trash.
like him. Trash. He had one bad little year. What stupid stuff?
But
I'm like,
so Thomas, think about it. He did have a bad year, but he had the bad year in which he should have showed out. That would have solidified. Yes, it is justified why we moved a whole squad and kept Kyle,
yeah,
and he
I
didn't
don't know
show
why
up.
they got. I don't know
See,
why.
look at what Kyle doing now.
yeah,
Right.
game.
I don't know why they got rid of Brandon Ingram. I would have kept him.
Yeah,
But
Value.
Rondo.
guys, you gotta also, I know we talked about Luka, but I put Luka in that category as LeBron almost. He's very ball dominant. He's hard to play with, and the few times that he's won, I give him the 2 championships in Miami because he had other stars on the court, but the one that he won in Cleveland, I'm a credit the NBA for the Draymond Green suspension. Last one, it was
Draymond came back. He still, and LeBron still scored 40 points.
But the momentum shifted completely because they had them dead to rights.
Right. And I think that last one, that bubble championship, I mean, to me, it's always been an asterisk or a question mark next to every one of those championships outside of the Miami Heat one. But I think he's another ball dominant player that's just hard to play with. He's hard to build around. It's almost impossible to put a team out there that just coexists with him.
I don't know now. I don't know. Cause he's not selfish. He's not selfish though. He's not.
When you're playing with him, you can't make mistakes. I mean, you have to have the right type of players out there on the court with him, because he's not going to take the big moment shot. He's gonna put you in positions that's uncomfortable for you. You're gonna have the spotlight on you all the time. That's the reason why West is struggling so bad. All that stuff he got away with in Washington, in Houston, and OKC, it's all being highlighted to us.
Yeah,
because you're playing alongside a star that's always in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So he, in my opinion, Westbrook ended his career now, in my opinion, and I don't ever be able to recover from this. And not to put this all on LeBron, but when you play with a high-profile player like that, your weaknesses and your deficiencies are going to be highlighted a lot at a higher degree.
And I take that. I say, going back to that Luka, if you go get him Kevin Durant, that might change it. That might change him. That might be a good look for him. I just want to get back. No fault.
So next coach, another rumor: Mark Jackson with Sacramento. Is that a good look? Would that be a good look?
Mark Jackson is a good coach, but Sacramento. Mark, they don't even have Buddy Hield no more. Who they got?
Sabonis and Fox.
Yeah, Sabonis and Fox, and the young kid from
Sacramento.
No, I'm gonna be honest. Mark Jackson has done. He's a disciplinarian. He's gonna do really good with younger teams, but he's well respected because of what he built in Golden State. But he wasn't coached to kind of take them over that next hump. So I think that giving him another building team, I don't think that would be right for him. I think that he would do good in Sacramento, but realistically, I think that a voice like Mark Jackson would actually work out better for the Lakers. Sacramento would be good. I think it'd be good for LA. LA is missing a voice. I know, Jay, you touched on the offensive end, but I think they're actually terrible. I think that Mark Jackson is that one voice where LeBron would respect because, he is a high-profile guy, always on TV, to hold him accountable in terms of getting those guys to play better defense. Their defense is awful. I think they're probably the worst defensive teams that I've ever
true
seen.
that.
So I
And
think
that was the reason why they, like you said, coach. Yeah, I was looking at Jay sideways when you said that. I'm not going to even lie, but so another rumor as we get into these players, Rudy Gobert stated that even Donovan Spider Mitchell got to go, or I got to go.
I agree 100%. I think they got to blow that up. And me personally, I never looked at Donovan Mitchell as a number one option. Rudy Gobert, we know what we're going to get out of him. He's a defensive player, defensive-minded guy. He's going to play defense, get you rebounds, and nothing's going to change. Donovan Mitchell disappears at times. He gives you a 40, 50-point game, and then he'll disappear. It's like, where's he at? The moment is, in my opinion, sometimes it's too big for him. He reminds me of Gilbert Arenas, Bradley Beal type player, where like you're forcing him to be a number one option, but he's not that guy. He, in my opinion, should be the person they should move to get the most value out of right now.
I was thinking same thing. Who you can get more for? You get more for probably Mitchell than you would,
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert, yeah. So I think you that team got to go. It got to go from the 1 to the 5. Some got to go.
So it's funny that y'all say that, but it's on the opposite side of the spectrum. Another rumor that has been out there is that Golden State is looking at moving Wiggins for Gobert.
They got Jordan Poole.
Can you see that? Goodness gracious! That would be. Wait, coach, from a coach's aspect, what do you think? If you're a coach for Golden State, bringing Gobert there, moving Wiggins, but you have a Poole, Kuminga still there, Wiseman still there. Is that a good look? Are you chomping at the bit for that? Like, yes, that's what I need.
I don't think a straight up deal for Wiggins and Gobert would be fair. I think that they would have to probably throw Wiseman or even one of those young guys into the deal to bring Gobert in. But I think the problem you would have with Gobert is Gobert and Draymond Green, in a sense, I don't know, operates on the floor together, because you become a little that hurts you in terms of having another scorer or another person on the floor to stretch the floor. So the question would be, would Gobert be willing to serve another role, which means he may have to come off the bench, and I don't think he will. I don't think he's that type of talent or that type of player to come off the bench. I think that might be a bad fit for Golden State. I think Utah would clearly win that trade if they were able to get Wiseman, Wiggins, and maybe even another, because they're going to give up some pieces for Gobert. I know a lot of people sleep on Gobert because they only look at, he doesn't score that much.
Right.
What is he, a 3-4-time defensive player of the year? Right. You're going to give up an Anthony Davis type package for Rudy Gobert. It's going to happen.
Okay, the last rumor. Zach LaVine to LA next season.
I'm a Bulls fan. I don't like this.
Bitch, so you not gonna just roll your eyes like that's not a good ass deal. Like, yeah, look on it. The hate, man. The hate. Y'all don't realize what I put up.
What is Zach gonna bring to the Lakers, bro? What would Zach LaVine bring to the Lakers? What would he bring to the Lakers, bro? What does he bring?
A dunk or two.
That's about it. That's about it. That's about it.
Showtime. It's showtime.
That's about it, bro.
Showtime.
That's
LA is all about showtime.
A dunk or two, man.
That's it. That's funny. I don't see that.
All my life, I got
that's not a fit.
Y'all need some fresh legs. I say that for sure.
These are fresh legs. Give them a sub.
I think you guys are being a little cruel on Zach. I watch Zach all year because I am a fan. I think he's clearly a number 2, and I think that he would be a perfect player for the Lakers. If he was to go there. The problem is the Chicago Bulls are going to ask for Anthony Davis back. If they're going to want to give up Zach LaVine, and we would have no problem. So if the Lakers win.
When we say value, that's not what we look at. Zach LaVine, it doesn't come to me value for Anthony Davis. That's not the first person I think of.
Yeah.
But you know what? If we was to get Lonzo back, in that trade, I would do that.
Lonzo's
you'd have to with Lonzo.
I think y'all would get Caruso back though.
I take Caruso back, but just not him. He's not enough.
But and then AD would go to Chicago. Okay, from there, so I'm pretty sure
that part.
I'm pretty sure he'd love to go there and play. He already mentioned it twice, so.
Yeah, that part.
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
So,
Pitch and a Zach LaVine for Anthony. I think that works. I mean, because you're getting two guys that are role players that can help, bring, some young talent to the Lakers, but you're also getting rid of a headache in Anthony Davis, which I believe Anthony Davis may play a motivated year like DeMar DeRozan did, coming back home and being in Chicago. So
yeah, and definitely they have to move Vucevic. And I don't foresee Anthony Davis. There's no need for Anthony Davis and Vucevic. And then DeMar, that's like clogging the middle up. Well, no, I stand corrected because AD does like to stay out the post. So I don't know. That dude, man. Oh my God.
No, he played point guard in high school, so don't hate on that man.
Game two, Milwaukee versus Boston. Do we see a situation where Boston bounces back and do what we thought they were supposed to do? Or am I wrong? Am I overlooking the Milwaukee Bucks? Who y'all got? Milwaukee or Boston? Game two.
Hey, look at Thomas.
I picked Milwaukee to come out of the East, but I do believe that the Boston Celtics will figure it out in this next game. I think with no Chris Middleton there, I thought that I was actually pretty impressed with what Giannis was able to do. But I do think Boston figures it out in game two. But I got Milwaukee in 6 to win that series.
Ooh, Milwaukee in 6. Okay, Jay.
Got Milwaukee in 6 too, but I think Boston pulled it out tonight.
6.
Yeah, he said.
Thomas, it happening? 4. That's it. Milwaukee walking off.
That's it. They're gonna sweep.
I don't know. I don't think Boston gonna allow that to happen.
Man, if I believe anything can happen if the Knicks got swept. I believe it can happen. Like that. Like, come on.
I just think okay, yeah, Chris Middleton isn't there, and they show they did damage the first game, but I don't think that's a sustainable event for the.
Giannis is gonna do it.
Probably fine. Grayson Allen isn't going to continue to do the same thing which he did the first one. They're going to find a chink somewhere at some point. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to go ham. Smart is going to do his little things, those things in which they don't show up in the stat sheets. I just don't foresee them getting knocked off 4-0. Like I could go with 6 maybe.
We're going to talk again, okay? I told you, like, yeah, you're right, man.
I got Boston winning tonight, man. I think Boston gonna pull it out.
Okay, Boston got it. So, additionally, of course, tonight other game, which we have will be the Warriors and the Grizzlies. Are we seeing? Do you think the Warriors? I mean, the Grizzlies are young.
Yeah.
So does that youth movement affect the opportunity for them to go to the next round against a seasoned Warriors team, even though they're not all the same players from the championship years, but they do have that same core? Are the Warriors are the Grizzlies seasoned enough to get a couple in this and win the series, or is this Warriors? Is this potentially the 4-0 sweep?
I think with this Warriors team, man, I said they tough. I don't see a full sweep, but I do see like another either 4-1, 4-2. But I would say, man, that game it can either make them or break them, because that game they lost, they could have. But if they come out and play with that confidence, like we can beat this team, that'd be all right. If they come out and just be like that, they let that one game slip, then this whole series could be over just like that. So we gotta see how they respond. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, because teams.
Go ahead, Thomas. I got it.
Okay, because teams play different when they know they're not supposed to be there. Like, we ain't supposed to be here. So if you can beat Golden State, come on now, like that's a big thing. So teams are going to play them harder because they're playing Golden State. So I don't be like they might be going to a game 7. They might be going to a game 7. I think it's going to a game 7. I think it's going to a game 7.
You know what's crazy about this series? I thought the Memphis Grizzlies had to win game 1. And young team, they're not really truly established, and they're Ja Morant dominant. If Ja Morant is not carrying them, they're in trouble. So for me, I look at that Golden State Warriors team, and to me, I felt like they didn't play their best basketball, and they were still able to steal a win from the Memphis Grizzlies. I do see this being a sweep.
Ooh.
Where they probably just get one game. I don't see Memphis Grizzlies being covered from that. That Golden State Warriors.
Wait, pause. What did I walk into? Did he just say Golden State finna sweep the Grizzlies when they just barely won by one?
I was about to bring up that for not even the fact that they just lost. It was because Ja missed a layup. Like
that's it. Really?
Yeah, but that was
a sweep.
Memphis Grizzlies home. I thought that was their game to win, and for them not to win.
I mean, okay, I agree with that part. They should have won that game. I totally agree with that part. But a complete sweep of the Grizzlies?
A game, man. A game.
I believe it's gonna be a sweep.
Ooh.
I think it's gonna be a 4-2. I think if the Grizzlies respond tonight, that's like how they play tonight. It don't even matter if they win, lose, whatever type of effort they come out with, that'll let me know. Like, all right, that game too important.
Yeah.
So Jay and Thomas, who y'all got winning the game tonight between the Warriors and Grizzlies?
Warriors and Grizzlies. Tonight, I'm gonna go with Memphis tonight. I'm gonna say they come out and play a little bit smarter, and you know what I mean, they can limit Jordan Poole to not 38, but yeah, they're gonna limit him to at least 20 something. I mean, if they do that, I feel like they'd be all right.
Y'all gonna have like 40 and 50. Ja Morant. Yeah.
Ja know he can take everybody on the Warriors, so he ain't done nothing else. He's gonna have to go against everybody in the Warriors.
See, the problem for me with that Memphis Grizzlies team is Bane scores the easiest on the team. Jaren Jackson is a no-show. He doesn't show up. I think he has to be the guy to give them 20 plus points on a consistent basis, and he doesn't do it. It's not gonna happen against Draymond Green. So Ja has to go for 40 to 50 points every last one of these games in order for them to win. And I just don't think he has enough to do it with the style of play he has. Bane is not going to give them enough to beat this team. Dylan Brooks just doesn't look like the same Dylan Brooks from last year. So that's the reason why I'm saying sweet, because the Golden State Warriors have an answer for every last one of these guys. And I think the Grizzlies are a great team. I just think that once Jaren Jackson grows up and realizes that he is the engine that's going to make this team go to help Ja out, that's when I think the Memphis Grizzlies get over the hump. But Jackson, in my opinion, is the most important player who's not going to show up. He's just invisible right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. And who'd y'all pick out of the Milwaukee Bucks and the Celtics tonight? I missed that too.
I got Boston tonight.
Yo, I picked Boston to win tonight, but we picked Milwaukee to win it in 6.
Giannis.
I feel you. Oh, you got them sweeping the Celtics?
I'm always right though. I don't know. Always right.
I know the feeling, T. I know the feeling, Tom.
Don't. This is the same dude that says Redeem Team is going to be Dream Team.
Yeah, but that's my. But fact is, I said we're gonna win nationals. What happened?
He did.
I say word.
I speak facts. You know.
See, so what I say, Tom, is you see this guy, his name that he has put up there the GOAT Bishop. So he believes he has earned that moniker due to the fact that his picking prowess has been a little maybe above average. But of late, he has been falling off here and there. So I don't know. So it sounds like that's why he said I can agree with you in what you're saying. It's like, okay,
Real recognize.
There you go. There you go. Right there. There you go.
So I got another quick question for y'all. Two teams, 5 players a team. The first team, they have Giannis, KD, Steph, Embiid, and Kyrie Irving. The second team, you have Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and Larry Bird in their primes. Who's winning?
Second team, easy.
Without question. Without question.
Look at Thomas. Look at Thomas. Hold up. Look at Thomas.
How y'all like? What's y'all logic?
That gonna toss and be all over the court. He gonna show how you really play.
Yeah. Realistically, you could have stopped after you said Michael Jordan. You
that part.
Like
when you said so, everybody is in their prime, right?
Only person that played defense on that team is Giannis. That's the only one that played defense on that team.
Steph in his prime.
Don't play no defense.
KD in his prime. Listen,
don't play no defense.
Oh, this is my thing. Everybody like, oh, defense wins games. No, the most points win games. The most points.
And if I stop you from scoring those points, then you can't win those games.
Who gonna check KD? Who gonna check Steph? Steph gonna step cross half court in range. Come on.
Hey, Trey. So this is my thing. So
yes,
let's add this to it though. This is my
sir.
thing. Let's put it like this first. With those two teams, is it the current era or is it the era of Michael Jordan and all those other players? What era is it?
Referees y'all got too, don't call
yeah.
That's why I say what era. That's why I'm asking what era.
So let's break it down. Let's look at both. Break it down. Look at both eras. In the 80s, in the bad boy era, what team is winning? What team is winning? In their prime.
The second team.
Second
team.
Hands down, Shaq them got it.
Yeah.
But now,
in this era, same teams in their prime. Who's winning?
You got to realize
they
Kobe
get beat by
and Jordan got fouled twice as much, so they still going to the free throw line twice as much.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm still going to second team.
Twice as much.
Red,
I still go.
beat by 60. By 60.
In a 7-game series.
You got to think. You said Larry Bird was on that second team, right?
Right.
Yeah. Easily second team. Because this is the thing.
He was Steph before. He was Steph before Steph. I mean, not as.
Before
I think he was more. I think it was more KD before KD.
The height, all of that. Yes, sir.
But
and did you say Magic? You say Magic? I didn't know if you said
Magic.
Come on, man. Stop.
Who is Stephen Curry and Kyrie?
Who they guarding? They can't guard nobody. Literally.
Who gonna guard them?
The 3-point line. They gonna lose to the 3-point line themselves. They hit when they hit. You live by, you die by it.
Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant
alone.
Like, stop it. You're not gonna tell me Stephen Curry and Kyrie Irving can't be guarded by Michael Jordan and Kobe. Stop.
Take out.
And then the anchor.
That part.
See, Kevin Durant and Larry Bird will cancel each other out, and Shaq is going. He's going to take Joel Embiid to school. It ain't even going to be a contest. Jordan and Kobe, like, to me, Stephen Curry would be the one person that you could look at and say he could stretch the floor. You know, he's run all over the place, but you come on now. You putting Jordan and Kobe on the same team with a willing passer and Magic Johnson? That ain't even.
Take out.
That's ugly.
And we got to keep in mind that Michael Jordan. I mean, like, Magic Johnson is like the 6'9" point guard.
Yeah,
like
6'9" point guard.
He was that before Ben Simmons.
That shortest person is 6'6" right now.
Exactly.
That's Jordan.
I want you to know, Thomas, a 6'9" point guard. He honestly could guard Joel Embiid.
That part.
With girth.
That part.
He wasn't just that with girth.
And who's going to stop Shaq? Who's going to do that part?
I don't see nobody
At
stopping
his prime. Who's going to stop Shaq in the paint? In his prime.
And Shaq hitting everybody. You go to the paint, Shaq hit. Ask the new players. You look at the interviews, man. They said they hated driving to the paint when Shaq was in there because they knew the. Hey, look at when who was it? D Wade when he driving to the paint. He said, I ain't driving to the paint. I knew Shaq would hit me. That's what he gonna do to all the players. Kyrie not getting there. Kyrie got Instagram. Hey, after that, I knew that. I ain't going back in there. I'm good.
You gotta find a different player. Like remove Kyrie Irving from that conversation.
And then I might can give you that.
I don't know
what's up, Mike.
Is put into those conversations. He's not at that level in my opinion.
So who do we reverse Kyrie Irving with to make it even remotely?
LeBron.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. That's what I said. Correctly. That's who it was. That's who it was supposed to be. LeBron. I'm sorry. That's who I was missing. It was supposed to be LeBron.
You can't leave the GOAT out.
Now we talking to okay. Now we can play. All right, that's a good game right there.
No, I don't know.
I still don't think it makes a difference.
I don't know now. So I don't know. Like,
yeah, I'm with Bishop on this one.
Tim Duncan.
Because now when you add LeBron, guess what? LeBron
now Magic and LeBron
Magic.
Now they cancel each other out. So I think it's considered to be the only person, like Coach was saying, the only person that is the linchpin or makes the difference is Steph.
Yeah,
he's running all over the floor.
Because now you take Steph.
Who's gonna match his stamina? That's gonna be the second team's problem. Who's gonna match Steph's stamina to run around and chase him all over the court? That's the problem with the second team.
I think that's Kobe's assignment.
Yeah. I think he'll take
it would definitely have to be Kobe's assignment, but could he do it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Look at it.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So that becomes interesting. But it probably stays the same. Clearly the second team without a doubt. In both eras.
You
don't believe that. Anyway, we're gonna talk about that though. That's tough. That's tough.
So of course, one thing that came up yesterday, it was I was watching. What do y'all think about wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins for the Arizona Cardinals?
Golly.
6-game suspension for a banned substance.
What substance was it?
They can say it's just PED. PED.
It was just a PED, but from what he stated is that he didn't realize that it was something that was considered a PED.
Yeah, I think. He's not the first. He's not gonna be the last. And I think honestly, it probably benefit them more than anything. People don't realize that the league done went up another game, so you are not playing 16. You playing 17 games now, and just give them time to rest for the first 6 games. You know what I mean? Yeah, like to me. It sucked, but it kind of probably benefit them because you need them in the later half. You don't really, the first couple games they do matter, but not as much as those last couple games. So honestly, it kind of probably benefit them. Get your other team, you get to see what your other team about, and then when he come back, he can fit right in. It ain't gonna take no time for him to fit in there. So, but it look bad for Arizona because they already going through the issues that they're going through.
So kind of upset that he put himself in that type of situation because you have agents and nutritionists. Somebody know better.
Somebody somewhere.
Someone.
That's
Agreed.
Come on, bro. Like
I'm with Thomas.
Agreed.
Somebody you that like your freaking nutritionist, your agent, your somebody knew better, and you're just like, no, okay. I don't take that as a good excuse. I ain't no. I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for him.
I think I hear players say that, I didn't know. I took something out supposed to. I look at these guys and it just tells me that, you know, I don't know. I feel like that's an excuse, because you got so many people around you, or, you know, maybe they don't. But I think that when you're a high profile player like that, you've got to have a camp that's vetting all of this stuff prior to you putting anything in your body. All of these guys have personal trainers or a nutritionist or somebody on their team or their staff. I just think that he got caught.
So when I look at it and I hear everyone say that I don't know process, and maybe what I'm about to say is not going to even help the conversation, but so I remember, right, coming here to Fort Polk, I was supposed to have an SLC date. Now I'm leaving JBLM, coming to Fort Polk. Supposed to have an SLC date. Between two installations, schools and COs, I didn't know that I had an SLC date. So when it came down that I missed the SLC date, they was like, they started banging my line. Like I was, it was in the middle. It was almost 6 o'clock at night. I got a phone call that, hey, we need you in Sergeant Major's office. I was like, what for? You know what I'm saying? And so when I get there, the Sergeant Major is like, Sergeant Amir, did you know? Did you know you had an SLC date? I was like, no, Sergeant Major. I was like, I'm just getting here. I was like, how would I know? I don't even have computer access. Like, how would I know? And they're like, oh, you don't know that you can check your Outlook through what was it, or AKO at the time? I was like, no, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, no matter how, at this point, I'm 21 years in service. Like, and no, I did not know that. So he still looked at me like a lot of people are probably looking at DeAndre Hopkins. Like, how did you not know? Like, he did. DeAndre Hopkins said he takes a holistic approach, and that he didn't know. So I don't know. Maybe it's something. Maybe they didn't pay close attention and know that there was some type of remnants of the abused of the banned ingredient that came up.
But no, Trey, you was not finna you not finna bail them out, bro. Like all these cats have personal trainers. As a personal trainer, you should be aware
That's
of
your
all
job.
the ingredients that are in there. Therefore, if you're giving your client a supplement or whatever it is you're giving them, you should know that nothing in that supplement or whatever it is you give them is not banned. That is your whole job.
So basically, what y'all saying is he tried it and got caught. Basically, that's what y'all saying.
Basically,
yeah.
He thought he was gonna get away with it. He thought he was gonna get away with it.
I mean, think about it. If the trainer didn't know and he took it, like you say, he didn't know, I'm firing that trainer. Quick, fast, and
that part.
You ain't doing your job.
That part. Oh, you definitely fired. Oh, you definitely
someone got to go.
Oh yeah.
You got it.
Oh yeah.
It was, you know, there was nothing that came out and said, oh, this person. I think that he's been touted as the #1 receiver for so many years, and it's hard to keep up with that. And, you know, given the fact that so many new guys that are coming in, like you need an extra added edge because your body's getting older, you're moving on. But me personally, that he wanted that extra edge to, you know, continue to keep a step ahead of everybody. And like you said, he got caught. You know?
That part.
Now,
especially being that it's off season right now, you about to go into OTAs. He didn't expect.
He got caught just at the right time.
Yeah, right.
So the sample was from back in November. The sample was from back in November.
Even more.
Yeah, so
more reason.
Right. He got caught at the wrong time. So something I wanted to touch on, it was in the NBA portion that I completely forgot about. It just came up to me as we was transitioning. Is, did you hear what Zion Williams basically said? That he was waiting. He expected to make, as Jay shakes his head, he was expecting to basically pull up and tap in Game 7. So had Phoenix went to 7 games, Zion was going to come play. He said he's been cleared. He was just waiting for the Game 7.
But I've been saying that, Trey. I said, well, why are they putting this? Why are they allowing this dude to do 360 dunks during warm up, but you ain't putting him on the court? What's the point? What is the whole point? Like, this dude is doing 360 dunks in warm-ups. Why isn't he playing? Why you have this dude sitting on the bench? I understand, like I said before, Trey.
But he was missing 50. He was missing 15 footers during warm up too, so I don't know.
But you don't have to give him a whole lot of minutes. Give him some playing time, bro.
He
Give him
don't
some playing time.
want to be there. I don't think he want to. I think he don't even. He want to just leave so bad, though. I think.
You think he ready to come out of New Orleans?
I think he ready to leave already. Cause who says I was gonna show up at the game? What? That's a kid mindset. Like, so you've been shamming the whole. You've been shamming. You've been shamming. You got damn shit on. You've been shamming.
Hey, look. The more and more you look at it, the more and more Memphis look like the daggone smarter program.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Morant was it.
Jai or I feel like he's gonna be a freaking bust, man. He's just too big. He like 500 pounds. He's too big.
You think Zion finna be a bust, Tom?
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm never wrong, man. I give 2 more years. He gonna be like what's the name? Dude with freaking Jordan had. What's the name?
Scottie Pippen.
Anthony. What's the dude? Now he's talking about the post player he got. I know you're talking about Pippen.
Used to be with the freaking Lakers. Kwame Brown. Like Kwame Brown, bro. He's the best player in the world. That man was averaging 2.8 points a game. Kwame Brown. Who is that?
I can't rock with that one, Thomas. I think that's a bit
trash.
No, that's too much. I do think that, part of it, I think Mike Richardson just hit it on the head. I think there's some mental issues going on there, because when like you said, Bishop, when you can get on the court and you can do 360 windmills, you can do all of that stuff. Like there's something else going on. We know he's got a weight problem because he looks a little bigger than he was last year.
Right.
But I'm not a fan of guys, not rocking with you during the regular season and then just showing up in the most meaningful games. So I think that part of it, it was his agent and his camp basically pushing the New Orleans Pelicans to say, add more to this team, give us some more, or we're not going to play. I think it was a little bit of that. And I think it was a piece of his confidence, not really ready to play because he was looking at his weight. He had TNT making fun of him all the time. I think that played into it a little bit too. And then I think that once they got in the moment, he realized, oh, shoot, if I'd have been on the court, maybe we would have been able to get a little bit further. So I think that there was some mental stuff going on to where it was like, damn, I should have went out here and helped my team out, or I at least attempted to play in the first round. And I think that all of it kind of boils back to, I think it was some bad decisions made. He's got to own that one a little bit too, because you can't sit out that long. You got to fix that weight thing. The same thing with him. He's got a nutritionist. He's got all the right people in his camp. It's time for him to mature and grow up. Not in college anymore. This isn't AAU. It's time to, use that nutritionist on a regular basis, take care of your body, and get your behind on the court and play basketball.
So since we're here right now, let's transition that a little bit towards, is it the same thing, or would you say the same thing, Coach, when it comes to Ben Simmons, who obviously, of course, there's some mental issues and stuff that's there. And as we know, mental health is serious. And even though these players, as big as life, even in the military, true that, even though they're as big as life, they his mental health is serious. So do you attest the same thing to like you said, Ben Simmons?
I go back to Philly and how they handled the situation. I thought Doc Rivers was wrong with the way he initially came out after the playoffs, and it was almost like they blamed everything on Ben Simmons and his inability to score or shoot the basketball. But me personally, I felt like Doc vacated him and allowed him to be that player all year. And then when the lights and cameras came on the brightest, they turned that light switch over to Ben Simmons to say, hey, this is all on Ben. I took the pressure off myself. Doc had to own some of it. He put him in that position. And Joel Embiid, we're giving him a lifetime achievement award for finally playing 70% of his games this year. He hasn't been great. There was everybody that owned something in that. And then that Philly organization, the way they handled it, I think that they were wrong too. But I also believe Ben Simmons has to take ownership too, because I call it that AAU mentality where I don't get what I want. I'm just going to leave and go to the next program. I don't see what I like here. I don't think this is a clear path for me to be able to get my way. I'm just going to run to the next best thing. So even with the whole Brooklyn thing, I know he wanted out of Philly, but I think that he did want to play for Brooklyn. I just think that that moment and he saw the level down 3-0, and he looked and said, you know what, I'd be able to live this down too. So Ben Simmons, I think, owns it too, because I think he's been a little immature at this. I don't know as much mental, but I think that some of it does tie in, because you pretty much had everybody in that Philly camp turn on him, and I thought that was wrong.
Yep.
And so, and that's in this, and I feel like that's so. Let's bring it back to one of your own players now, DeMar DeRozan. He came out and stated that he had mental health issues, and I'm very sure that when we look at it, we joked about it here, where we're talking about DeMar in the playoffs. It just he's immaculate come the whole saying the season, but then when you get to the playoffs, it's like
James Harden. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. It just come out sometimes.
I'm gonna tell you though that they game plan around. It's kind of it sucks because in the regular season you ain't gonna see too many blitzes, too many double teams, and then playoffs you gonna see that. And if you're not willing to adjust, then I mean, I think the coaches could have did better to put him in a position to score. You know what I mean? Once they started blitzing the pick and roll, just stop picking and roll, just stop it. You know what I mean? Just let them play straight up. You know what I mean? But a lot of times they ain't really help him. And then the confidence go. Like you said, mental. You mentally, like, in your head, like we had, like, that relates back to, like, a teammate of ours, like, recently. Like, there's, you know what I mean, shots that he normally take and he normally make that he got mentally, like, checked out. And so that the shots that he took this tournament wasn't the shots that he normally took. So, and, like, he said it himself, like, came off court, like, I'm just mentally checked out. You know what I mean? It's something that you got to do to help him get back to that spot. So, yeah, I mean, luckily we got him back there. But, you know what I mean?
So what is it that you do that you foresee? Like coaches, like you said, coaches can run packages. Like we all know, DeMar is a mid range. That's his spot.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Chris Paul yet, because I don't know, for whatever reason, we all know where Chris Paul is going, but we can't. Yep. No one can stop him from getting to the mid range. Like he has a spot. His spot is the same spot all the time, but yet people let him in there. So what do you do? What's your advice on when y'all have a player? And let's say even not just player, but it could go in any aspect of life. When you have a person that's seemingly checked out and they're not who they are, what is some things in which y'all do to help your teammates get back to who they should be?
The first thing I do, I tell anybody, I'm gonna try to get you in the right position. I know Thomas like to go right, like we talked about last time. We'll make sure we're on the left side of the court so he can go right. The teammate specifically that we're talking about, he more so of a mid-range freelance player, and I tell him, like, keep that green light. Don't get in your mindset not to shoot or not to score. Like, mentally, I think you could talk your way out of it. So me, first step, talking your way out of it. You know what I mean? Telling this dude, hey, keep shooting. We need you. Like, we need you. Like, enforce that we need you. And I think over time, he just kept hearing it. Just keep playing ball. Keep playing your game, man. Keep attacking. Keep it driving, and then finally get to the free throw line. I think from there it broke ice. And luckily, he came back and he saved us.
Yeah, we had it happening multiple times throughout this tournament. Our big guy Randall Haley, he played amazing against Luke, played amazing against Fort Jackson, but when he got to Hawaii Elite, they face guarded him, took him out of his game, and they made him very ineffective on the floor. And one of the conversations I had with him is I said, you've never dealt with this before. And you're not scoring. You don't know how to be effective on the court. And I told him, if you can't do other things like rebounds, set screens, get involved in a high pick and roll, I said, you're going to have to sit down next to me. So that was one of the adjustments he had to make. Another one was, they used a good example, Thomas. Thomas is, a high energy guy. He didn't really play the first two games. Didn't play much in the third game. But when we got to playing against the Benning game was one where all of my players, they don't do really well against zones. And Coach Ace, I give him a lot of credit. He came out with that zone at 2-2-1, and they dropped into a 1-3-1, and it just ate all of the time on the court. So a lot of my guys that were getting a lot of easy looks, a lot of easy another one. He went 6 for 22, I believe, in one of those games. One of his worst shooting games ever. He's a high-profile player. And I looked at Thomas at the end of the bench and I said, Thomas, this is your style of play. This is your type of game. It's rugged. It's raggedy. This is what you do. I was like, I need you. I said, bring that energy. And he came in and gave the guys a lift that they just didn't have. And it was not the pieces on the floor that you would have traditionally saw. So a lot of it is buy-in. You got to get guys to be able to buy in to, accepting other roles. Just because you're not the focal point in this game and being able to score, accept another role and be a star within that role.
Mm. Bishop, have you ever been face guarded before?
Yeah.
He don't look
Man.
that good. He don't look that good.
Man.
Is normally players getting face guarded is usually not your tallest players on the court. Like, Randall is 6'7", 200 plus. Like, can you imagine somebody face guarding Joel Embiid or Shaq trying? Like, you never normally see that. So when I saw it, I was kind of like, wow. I was like, that was a hell of a game plan.
The first time I got first guarded, I was like, what kind of sorcery is this? I was like, I couldn't get him off me. I was like, what the hell is going on? I couldn't get it. He was like, oh my goodness.
It's annoying.
When you said it, it is. It's hella annoying. So when you said it, I instantly thought back like my first time being face guard. I had never seen it before. And I was like, what the hell? So yeah, I can see it.
But I will tell you though, Coach Hunter, he adjusted well. We went from that to we ran more like pick and rolls. Like when I say his adjustments, like we come out with a game plan usually pretty good, but our halftime adjustments be like on point. Not like, some people say halftime adjustments, they think of defense, offense, but like sometimes you got to adjust to the referees. Sometimes you got to adjust to, the pace of the game. And I think that's where we separated ourselves this weekend from everybody else. We ran at our pace when we wanted to. So that's the biggest thing.
Coach, I ask you this: have you ever just gave one of your players the green light? Like you recognize, like, you know what? Just go, just go, go at it, get it, go
Thomas
get it.
Ass.
I was just about to say, it looked like Thomas is one of those guys who'd be like, give him the green light, let him go. He looked like
get out his way. Let me go.
So yes, I'll say that it was. I think a lot of guys, and that's the one thing about a team. You have to establish, who are the go-to players immediately on the court. Who are those guys that, they have that mentality, that killer mentality. Randall knew that he had the green light. Actually, Cofield understood his assignment. Henderson was another one. He understood what I wanted him to do. And all of those were conversations that we had with these guys before the game. And I told him, I said, listen, don't pass open any shots. I need you to shoot the ball. Hey, Gabe, if you come on the floor, I said, I need you to control things, settle the floor down. I don't need you jacking up a bunch of shots. Make sure these bigs are touching the ball. All of our bigs knew before we took the first game against Luke who the ball needed to go to. And I made that very clear. I said, if these three do not touch the ball every time down the court, you will be sitting next to me. And honestly, it's a tough conversation to have when you have so much talent. But when you know how you're supposed to play and where your strengths are within a team, everybody knew Randall, Hendo, and Kennedy needed to touch the ball every time down the court. So those guys had the clear green light the entire tournament, and they knew.
Okay. All right. So going back into the NFL, right? We have a situation, and we can assimilate this to let's say even military basketball. You have a situation to where currently the Bishop don't say nothing. I know he's going to say something. I'm telling him not to, but I know he's going to say something. Currently, we have a situation where Sam Darnold is the quarterback for Carolina Panthers. Yet still, Carolina they drafted a player, and they're looking at potentially bringing in Baker Mayfield, Jimmy Garoppolo, or now even maybe potentially Nick Foles. How does that what does that do? Let's talk about bringing that back into the middle game. What does that do for you as a player where you already looking over your shoulder? Now you're looking over both shoulders. And now you're looking like I was the starter. I had a down year. I got traded and thought I was gonna get a new beginning. I had a down year. Now you drafted a rookie, and plus you got two former starters that you look at, one or two to bring in. What does that do for you as a player?
So I think either two things is gonna happen. Either he's gonna start working harder or gonna just like just freaking just or check out, be like, man, they don't need me, it's over with. But me though, I'm gonna work hard. Like look, man, I need my job. I want to play. But most guys like, man, shoot, they don't really need me, so why even try?
I agree. I think when you start those camps, especially, as a quarterback, you're supposed to be the leader of the team. So now we have some of the players not looking at you because I played locally college quarterback a little bit for 2 years, and I injured, so I had to go to receiver. But for those 2 years, you got every teammate looking at you like, oh, this guy should be a starting quarterback, or you should be a starting quarterback, and then it's like it's like a little friction that you don't want. Now there's an alpha that says, hey, all right, that's a legit starting quarterback. There's not really too many issues, but when you bringing in guys left and right, it's like, oh, we not even established at the most important position. How are we gonna be establishing the other place? So that's what I mean. That's the way I look at it.
Of course, Bishop finna say something about Darnold, but go ahead.
No,
Is he not deserving?
No.
Is he not deserving? Do y'all think he's not deserving of the starting quarterback?
I just don't see him in Carolina. I don't see him in Carolina. I wish that they didn't get rid of Teddy Bridgewater. That year, actually, as more people look at it, they don't look at it like he actually had an okay year out of the first. That was the coach's first year, his first year. The team pretty much just established the game out together, and they had a decent year. They was in and bought every game, even though they lost the close games, but they was in just about every game. So I feel like you would give him another year, or at least somebody around that talent. They're gonna be all right.
He's not bad though.
He's not bad, but just not Carolina.
Don't is not like no freaking. He's not terrible. Like he no freaking tool or nobody, but he ain't bad. He decent.
I like him in Washington if he can go anywhere. I like him there. You got a little young team that you could build around.
What do y'all think the Honey Badger brings to New Orleans?
Ooh.
Like, I see that. I'm like, why would you leave Kansas City to go to New Orleans? Maybe because that's where you.
So they got rid of him. He ain't leave. They got rid of him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and it's home. So
okay, yeah, that's home too. So I'm just like, that's not like, oh, like okay, like.
You know what? I can deal with him going to New Orleans as long as he ain't in LA with the Rams.
Oh my God, that'd be the Rams don't need nobody else on defense.
or Philadelphia. But you know what I'm saying?
He could have came.
No. So out of them three, I could deal with him going to New Orleans.
Crazy on defense, man. That's not even. That's like a. Oh my God.
So speaking of New Orleans, I asked this question. As we know, they drafted Chris Olave, and then of course Pittsburgh drafted Pickett, quarterback. Pickett. Do y'all think those are reaches? Do you think those are people that could have made it later on? Because did New Orleans trade back up to go to get him?
Yeah, a lot of those trades I looked at, and I would say New Orleans wasn't really a reach, kind of sort of, because a lot of receivers went, like I said, like 17 receivers in the first 2 rounds, something like that, or 3 rounds. But like New Orleans, I don't think so much a reach, but I think, man, Pittsburgh, like I ain't really see no other quarterbacks come off like that. So I think that's a spot that they could have. I would have went for. They needed a quarterback, but I feel like you could have got a quarterback out of the market. Like you bet I was going to get Baker and dealing with him for a year.
Yeah.
And waiting for a better quarterback come out. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Coach Hunter, being a Chicago Bears fan, how did you feel about I couldn't even the first day Bishop came back, he came talking about A+ for the draft, Philadelphia draft. He's like A+. How did you feel Chicago did with their draft?
So I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get a chance to really dig into it too much because it was during the same weekend I knew that we didn't have any first round picks. I knew that we needed to get more of a line to help the young kid out from Ohio State field. If we didn't, improve at that line, I would say that draft immediately is a draft. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't had a chance to really look at it, but I know that's the one area where we were hurting the most is our offensive line. We got to protect that young kid.
Yeah.
We don't. I'm gonna be honest. He's gonna have an expiration date of maybe 2 to 3 years in Chicago.
One thing y'all did do, y'all released Nick Foles. That did happen. He's out the door.
So I think that helped with the young kid's confidence level because with a player like Nick Foles, he's won a Super Bowl. He's on the roster. He's not looked at as a veteran. Nick Foles wants to play, and as long as he was on that roster, it was going to mess with Fields mentally. And I think that it was important for them to let him know, listen, you are our guy. You're the one moving forward. So I like the move. I think that was a smart move.
That's interesting you say that because who they had before? Who was the backup initially, or the starter? Who started out the start? Then Fields came in.
Was that
redhead? He's in New Orleans now. Yeah, Dalton.
Yeah, Chicago likes those number 3 option type quarterbacks for some reason. We never go after somebody that's a real, like I don't know why we've never had high profile guys at quarterback. So I was actually, man, let's be real. I was very surprised that they took Fields in the draft. I think that they knew they messed up when we didn't take Patrick Mahomes. I think they knew they messed up when we didn't take Deshaun Watson. And I think this is a makeup pick almost in a way and saying, hey, we're the boat here.
But he's not like great though. Fields is not like, so I think he's a great college quarterback. Like he's not ready yet for the league.
Well, the game has changed though. If you look at the style of quarterback on every team, you have you don't have one-dimensional pocket passers anymore. Sitting behind a lot of these huddles. Most of these quarterbacks are dual threat guys. So I think if you look at it from that light, I think that he can have success. He just needs the right people around him in order to have that success. But yeah.
Okay. So Bishop, I asked you this. I was taking a look at something yesterday, and I realized I think it is. Do you think that Jimmy G's surgery was a strategic move, knowing that San Francisco was going to probably trade him?
Absolutely.
I mean, the surgery was something. The surgery was something that was going to have to be done anyway, though, regardless if he's going to be traded or not.
So what was ended up saying, which yesterday, John Lynch was on the radio show. He basically said that once Jimmy got that surgery, all of the trade talks came to a screeching halt.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't see why. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
They want you out of there, then why would you want to even be there? Like, and then to be honest, he showed that he still can play at a high level. So I'm thinking like, go to a team, play at least, like you said, Carolina. Go to Carolina. You know what I mean? They got a potential to be a playoff team. Take them to the playoffs. You probably can get a contract. And I mean, he ain't got to go to no major team. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would be out of there if I was him.
Nah, he need to go to the East somewhere. He don't need to be in Carolina. He need to go to the East somewhere. You know what? He need to go. He can go to Houston. Why don't go to Houston?
I'll go to Houston. Shoot, look. Try my hardest to beat San Fran anytime I see him.
That part.
So that's why I say he can't be in the East. He don't need to be in the West. So I asked this question as we get closer to time. I asked this question. So we've asked the same question, of course, when it comes to the Mount Rushmore. But it's kind of hard when it comes to picking the actual NFL because there's so many positions. So let's go with one position. Who is your Mount Rushmore in quarterbacks?
So of like all time
quarterbacks, 4 heads. Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
If you don't start with number 1, we ain't even cool no more.
See,
I'll tell you this. I'll figure sure who he's going to say or who everyone's going to say. But about 3 years ago, I wouldn't even mention that guy's name. It took me 3 years to even.
I know you ain't talking about the GOAT. I know
exactly what I'm talking about.
I know you ain't talking
about. 3 years ago, he would not have
3 years ago, he had what, 5? 3 years ago, he still had 5.
Talking about go Brady now.
Right. 3 years ago, he still had 5, right?
3 years ago, he would have even been in my conversation. It took me one day. I had an epiphany. Like, yeah, this man is great.
Really? Really?
So
But go ahead, Thomas. Go ahead, Thomas.
This mine here, of course, you know, is Goat Brady. You know, TB12. You know, Tom Brady.
So
Then it's Michael Vick. Man, that he was different
Georgia.
than me.
You expect that? He from Georgia. You know he gonna say
Vick. It hit me out. And it's Aaron. That's my goal. Like, he's probably the most precise quarterback. Like, he's good though. Is Aaron Rodgers, and I gotta go with Patty Mahomes, man.
Yeesh. Already?
Patty.
Already?
Said already.
I gotta go Patty.
Said already.
I gotta go with Patty. I gotta go. He's up there already, man. I was
my
Drew Brees, but Brees and Tom is like the same guy to me. So I don't want to put both of them. So I gotta, young, fast, mobile. I gotta have all different types of quarterbacks in there, man. But
all right. So I go ahead and go mine. So I go, go Brady, gotta be number one. I mean, Brady. My number two, I got Peyton Manning. I got Peyton Manning. I don't like him in the playoffs. I like him any other time of the year, but not the playoffs. I gotta go Warren Moon. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan. I mean, he started. Yeah, I mean, and then last, I'm gonna have to go Aaron Rodgers too. I like Aaron Rodgers.
The boat, as Bishop calls him.
It's kind of soon for A-Rod, but I don't know.
I call him the boat.
Yeah, that's why he called him the boat. He called him the boat. Bishop calls it the boat.
Best of all time.
Okay, Coach.
Here you go.
Yeah, so I think Tom Brady is an easy selection for everyone, just to the success over years. I'd have to go Joe Montana.
Thank you. Do I have to bring him to the? Do I have to bring Joe Montana to the party?
I was thinking.
And then I have to go. This was before the game kind of changed and turned into a lot of quarterback-driven league. I think Dan Marino is number 3, and then I have to go. I will go Peyton Manning as at number 4. Yeah, so that would be my Mount Rushmore.
I was thinking
Bishop.
Okay, I gotta go.
This is new for us here. Okay.
With GOAT, gotta go like everybody. That's even across the board. I gotta go GOAT. I gotta go Aaron. I do feel like he's that dude, man. He ain't winning MVP for no reason. So obviously he's playing at a high level. And then this is where mine pretty much would have to change, man, when it comes down to it. Because before there was an Aaron, before there was a Tom Brady and stuff like that, and things of that nature, there was a guy by the name of Terry B. Who won Super Bowls for the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. So I gotta go with Terry B, man. Terry B was that dude. He was the truth. And then I'm gonna take it back and I'm gonna say the dude that I feel like solidified black quarterbacks in the NFL was RD. Randall Cunningham. I'm gonna take RC, man.
Okay. So I won't start off like
here comes his bias. Watch this nonsense.
Here we go.
Of course, like you said, like I said, 3 years ago, I would not. Dang, the way y'all all looking at me, I'm starting to feel like Zion and Ben and all them. The way you're looking at me,
he said 3 years ago.
The way Coach got his arms folded, I'm feeling a certain type of way.
Because he knows it's gonna be some nonsense.
He said 3.
The first year, 3 years ago, first 3 years ago, Brady would not have been on my list. I just wouldn't.
What?
Maybe it was because
he's a Brady hater. Jay, he's a Brady hater.
So
I'm confused.
I just don't like Brady. I would say Brady's on this list, but I, in my own defense, I believe that Brady should not have came back, and it's going to be a bad year for him this year. He's going to fall off. That's just my personal opinion. So of course, Brady, I would say. I agree with the Michael Vick. I think he was just like how I look at Steph. Michael Vick is just Steph Curry in the NFL, where he was the prototype for the even though we had the Randall Cunninghams and the Warren Moves, but when you look at Michael Vick, the strength. I just showed some the other day when he threw a football out the stadium. So, you know what I'm saying, the arm strength, the speed, like, you know what I'm saying, he was just unmatched. And then, of course, Joe Montana, of course. I want to give that. I mean, come on, man. Let's, and you know what? I was about to say. So, of course, just like anything else, it's always the last pick because it's the last pick in what you have, and where it's like all this plethora of individuals in what you have. So, I wasn't going to be biased. I was not going to be biased in this fact. And then I started thinking, like, why would I give all this credence to all these people? I could have gave Terry Bradshaw. I could have went Donovan McNabb, Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham, John Elway, Troy Aikman, Staubach, or anything like that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it in the family. I'm going to go with Steve Young.
I knew he was going to pick both of them. I knew he was going to pick both of them. I knew he was going to pick both of them clowns. I knew he was going to do that. I knew
we talking about Matt Rushmore now.
Yeah.
That part.
So that is exactly what we do. Steve Young, one of the first left hands, another mobile quarterback. So I was like, it just feels right. Steve Young.
Steve Young.
Yes.
That's bad. I only know what team he ever played for.
What?
Thomas, you
we should have did wide receivers though, man. Cause we should have did GOAT wide receivers.
That would probably take too long. It's way too many of them out there now.
Yeah, it's hard. It'd be hard. That would be hard. It's just the football in general is hard. Like you look at it. Like again, Bishop probably would say, I believe that. Well, I'm not gonna say I believe that, but I think I take a little issue with the fact that we can mention Calvin Johnson as a Hall of Famer, which I did not initially believe that he should have been a Hall of Famer first ballot. He should be a Hall of Famer, but he shouldn't have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. But now I'm starting to have a slight problem with. The other day I looked at something where it was a graphic that talked about Matt Stafford is a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer. So I look at it like I believe that if Calvin Johnson got in, then Matt Stafford should get in as well because that's Matthew Stafford. But then
I think it's a problem with living in the moment, and I think a lot of times we tend to look at someone's career in the shorter version versus what they've done early on, later versus what they've done early on. His total package of his career, I don't believe is a Hall of Fame career. He won one Super Bowl. Joe Flacco's won one Super Bowl. Joe Flacco's not
say that. Definitely
so I think that's wrong, and I think that's the problem. A lot of people, and I'm gonna beat up on Thomas a little bit here, picking Patrick Mahomes on his mouth. That's what happens when you're living, in the moment. You're like, okay, who's hot right now? Who's having success right now? No, Matt Stafford, I don't think has done enough. Now he goes back to back and running back again. I think now we can have a discussion and have that conversation. But right now, no. I mean, they had a loaded team.
I must say, I can't even give them that team loaded.
That's like saying so. That's like Soulja Boy Tatum should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like,
oh my god. Hey, look, the way that team was loaded, man. Like you could just get online and you know how you can play Madden and you can pick the team that you want. That's like what they did.
That's probably what Bishop does. Bishop plays Madden all the time. He probably does that.
Hey, it's crazy you say that, Trey.
You won your game last night?
The league I'm in, the dude I have the Rams. That is my team.
That's crazy.
Look at that. See, it'll be people like Hill, you know what I'm saying? Because it's always the ones that go get the 99 rated teams and talk about let's play. At least when I used to play, like we used to play at the DFAC all the time. I hope there's no one watching that would say we were still in time. But we used to play at the DFAC. We used to have tournaments, Madden tournaments and stuff all the time. I always chose the Atlanta Falcons so I could use Michael Vick.
Michael Vick.
Not his squad, though. You see that? You talking about me, but not his squad. So
I could get Michael Vick. That's always chose the Atlanta Falcons because I wanted Michael Vick. We have to think of time. So we talk about the Madden back in the day where it had the passing window, and Michael Vick's passing window was about this big. So it's like say it was that. But he would do stuff like pick up Green Bay because they had Brett Favre, like, you know what I'm saying, that type of stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, y'all don't understand the stuff I have to go through with this guy. But in any case, you know what I'm saying? Try playing Call of Duty with him. That's a hoop. So of course, you know what I'm saying, we have K to the time today. We greatly appreciate Coach Hunter, Jay, Cofield, Thomas Gallimore coming back on, rocking us what it is. As they was stated, you know what I'm saying, that they were going to be victorious in the National Military Basketball Association tournament. That in which they did, as y'all so much have heard Thomas say, I told you. As they said, next up is the NBA Western Conference tournament, as that would be in Las Vegas at the end of the month towards the Memorial Day holiday, Memorial Day weekend, as they look to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals tournament, which would be in Denver, Colorado, July 14th. What's that? I think it's the 14th to the 13th to the 15th or something like that, and which will be there. Hopefully, myself and Bishop will be there as well.
15th to 17th of July.
Okay, 15th to all right. So okay, 15th, 17th of July. Excuse me, where they look to complete the circle. In that case, of course, I don't think it's going to be an easy task. I have to put on my installation cap here, and hopefully they get a problem or two from Polk. But in any case. Thomas, go ahead and say what you say. What you tell me earlier, Bishop? What you tell me earlier, Bishop?
Poke even there?
What you tell me earlier, Bishop? Watch your what you say?
Was Poke even there?
What I say about what?
You told me to watch. Close my mouth. Watch my teeth. Or something.
Yeah. Watch your mouth. Save your teeth. Watch your
mouth. Thomas, watch your mouth. Save your teeth, bro.
You have to know as a man that if I know my team don't have a chance, I'm not gonna say that. You know, this ain't
Bishop in the terms of absolute pew 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 pew
pew. Yeah, shots fired.
That's what's up.
Yeah, maybe
next year. That's what's up.
Well, I will say this, gentlemen. I went to that NBA tournament up in Fort Worth.
MG33.
Yeah, them boys, they got some ball. Got some ballers out there.
Hey, look. All I'm gonna say is we still hungry for Vegas, and we still we still got a pure team. I just want to throw that out there right quick.
Okay.
We still got a pure team.
Okay.
We've been running since day one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
Hey, I'm gonna give a shout out to these two that are online. I know a lot of the team didn't know this, but this was their last tournament that they can play in. Both of these guys are actually getting ready to get out of the Army.
Yeah.
And on to bigger and better things. So to send them out with a National Military Basketball Championship, that was huge. And I'm proud of these guys. Thomas has been playing ball forever. Jay Cofield's been here at Hood forever. And these two, the reason I brought them both on is because, they have been the heart and soul of the program the entire year. So, shout out to both of these guys, man. I don't have a deep assistant coaching staff, but, these guys kind of serve that role for me, being, vocal voices and leaders on this team. So, man, I appreciate you guys, man. And wouldn't have had a championship without you boys, man. So appreciate everything you guys done this year, man.
Definitely, Coach. Definitely. Same to you. Yes, sir.
So again, that's our time. We greatly will look forward to it. Like I said, be sure to check them out. And of course, if any area in which you have a military varsity squad, whether it be basketball, softball, soccer, rugby, anything, be sure to support, because a lot of these organizations do not get any funding from the unit, from the installation. Unless the installation is that gracious, because of course it costs money, a lot of money at that part. So you know what I'm saying, be sure to reach out, see what you can do, holler at them, talk to them, see what you can do to be advocate for varsity sports. As I said, the armed forces athlete is no different from the collegiate athlete, and we cheer for those teams. Let's cheer for this team as well, these teams as well.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, any last words as y'all get ready to get up out of here?
I appreciate it big time, man. I appreciate it. Second round, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, shout out to everybody that's helped the program this year. Much love to Mike Richardson and the team, and Dwayne Reed and those guys at Lackland. heroes for giving us that live feed, and just all the fans and family members that came together to help us, man. I appreciate you guys. And to these players. I mean, we have a lot of players within our program. I told them it was about 54 total that have helped us throughout this year at some point. So, shout out to all of those guys. I know they weren't there at this actual tournament, but at some point they've helped us along the way. So much love and respect to everybody, my women, and also the women. They have their nationals. Hopefully will be Juneteenth. And shout out to Randall, man. I think he's grown a lot this year. Glad to see you come on there, Randall, at the end, man.
Yeah,
he has matured a lot, and I think that he is clearly ready for that next level. And we got to find him and get him somewhere to play some ball at a higher level. That kid is amazing. He's grown a lot, and he has been a huge piece for us. So shout out to all you guys, man. I love it, and thanks for having us on. And man, it's been real. It's been great, and I appreciate the love too. Thank you.
So, question: When, where do the women play their nationals at?
So I believe it's going to be in North Carolina at Fort Bragg. The team out there at Bragg has the lead on that. So we're going to touch base with them and find out if they can get us some more feedback on it. Right now, I believe there was about 6 to 8 teams that are signed up to actually go. So as more information comes out, Trey, I'll make sure that I feed that over to you. So
I appreciate that, sir. Yeah, so I can, because I'm looking at trying to do something for it as far as the women, as like they never really get a big push. As we know, the WNBA season is getting ready to start, so I got something in the works for it. We got something in the works when it comes to the women, so we can get them, put them on the stage, and talk about them. So I greatly appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, and prayers to Brittany Griner, man. Hopefully they get her home safe. I know that doesn't a lot, but man, hopefully we get her home safe, man. She's being used as a chess piece right now, and hopefully get her home safe.
Okay. Bishop, any last words, brother? We finna get up out of here.
Man, no, man. For the most part, man, I just want to thank Coach Hunter, Thomas, Jay, all of y'all for doing the show, man. We really appreciate y'all, man. Enjoyed y'all on the show. Again, congratulations on winning that chip, man, because that's a big thing. I know Thomas, he keep pointing at his finger. He waiting on his ring. So, he definitely looking for that ring to come in. So I know how you feel, grew up in there in football aspects in regards to waiting on that ring. So I get it. Man, again, thank y'all so much. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. I appreciate for those that tuned in for the first time. We really appreciate y'all. There is no first formation without the viewers. So we definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all, man.
Of course, lastly, be sure to check tomorrow, like you said, here every day, 1100 hours Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Tomorrow, we'll be able to get the other side of the corner, as we'll have hopefully a couple of players from Fort Benning, so they can come on and speak their case. They didn't win, but they did become runner up. Yeah. And their trophy was pretty nice too. I was like, okay, I see what y'all doing. Their trophy wasn't shabby either. So of course we'll have them on so they can talk, give a little more perspective. We continue to try to have other those on. We got a couple of guests in which we try to get on so we get an interesting perspective, whether it's military athletes, just athletes in general, people working in the community when it comes to the veterans. That's what it's all about. Of course, we greatly appreciate y'all checking us with us high speeds. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow right here, same time. At this point, fall out. See you tomorrow.
Roll 5, Military Fraternity Incorporated. We'll holler back at y'all. Peace.